Hi friends, happy Monday. As always, I wanted to do a little reading recap just to talk about everything that I read last week. I did not read all that much. I read 3 physical, 3 digital, and that's just because I know I said I wasn't going to talk about the light novels that I'm reading again, but I feel like it's okay. So I am picking up this one again. It was spoiled for me. We're going to talk about my feelings about spoilers tomorrow, but I have been spending a lot of time working on this one, and that has eaten up most of my time just because this is in Japanese, this is a pretty difficult read for me. Even though I am really, really enjoying it, it does take me a while to get through. Because whenever there's a word I don't know, I have to write it down and I have to look it up. It's great study material, but it's taking up like most of my reading time, which I'm okay with. But okay, let's talk about what I did read. First up, most of my reads were, actually no, only 2. 2 of my reads were English. First up is this one called I'll Become a Villainess Who Goes Down in History. This one, I think this is the only like comedic read that I really, really enjoy, at least in English. Maybe there's 1 or 2 others, but typically I'm not a big fan of comedy. This one I find to be really funny. Specifically, I think the translator did a really good job of making this like strangely funny. Like in Japanese, our main character refers to herself as an akyakureijo, or like a villainess. I want to be the best villainess. In English, the translator chose to refer to her as a baddie. So she keeps saying like, I can't do that, I'm a baddie. And it's like, what is that even? What are you talking about? So it's really funny. Like she's a 13-year-old girl referring to herself as a baddie every 5 seconds. It's fun. In this volume, we follow her get summoned by the king, and he asks her to be a villainess. And she's like, you're telling me to be a baddie? Oh my God. And it's just, it's stupid, but it's fun, but it's dumb. So I'm enjoying this one. In the second volume, there's really not a lot of romance at all. We just follow her on her path to being a baddie. And I like that. The series, I don't think it needs any romance, period. I do think the age gap is inappropriate, so I am glad to not have seen it all that much. Also, the main love interest, his name is Prince Duke. I don't have a lot to say about that. But yeah, so it is fun. I do really like the comparison between the villainess, who is clearly very studious, she thinks things through, she's a clever character, versus the saint, who is like naturally a very good character, and like she doesn't do bad things, she does good things, but she doesn't think anything through because she's very, very altruistic. And through her altruism, she kind of collects followers who she sees as her friends, but they never question her. And it's like, well, like, can you really trust the people around you if they can't say that you're being kind of bad, you're being weird, you're saying something that's not all that good to her? So like if she says like, we should just release everybody from the prison because when we do, the prisoners will be happy to be free and then they'll repay us with kindness. So she'll say something like that and all of her followers will be like, that's true. They would be grateful. They would. You're so smart and you're so good. Are they really your friends? Because clearly that like in a like a nice world, sure. In the real world, maybe not. So we have our villainess here to kind of keep the saint on her toes with, what if one of the prisoners, who was probably in prison for a good reason, is released by you and they attack somebody? What do you do? Because it's on your shoulders because you're the one that released them. What do you do? And so it's interesting. I'm really liking that part of the plot more than anything else. We don't need romance. Get that out of here. I like the 2 women. She is very combative against the saint, and the saint is like, we're friends, because she's good. So that was that. I also read volume 3, finally, of Sugar Apple Fairy Tale. This one only has 4 volumes. I thought it was way longer than that, because the light novel, I think we're on volume 10. So I will be reading the light novel for this series because I like the overall premise. I really like our 2, I don't even want to call them a couple, but these 2 guys, I really, really like them. There's 3 on the cover, but I like these 2. He does not enter my eyes. I like these 2 together. So I we'll be reading the light novel. In this volume, I was complaining about this on Instagram. Every new character we meet is like comically evil for no reason. And I think it's explained in the light novel, so I will be reading the light novel. I'm not saying this is a bad series at all, because I had been enjoying this overall. Just, people are mean, and it's not explained why. So we have Anne here, our main character, who just, every single person she meets treats her like garbage. And she just kind of accepts it. And then moves on with her day. And it's like, I really don't like a main character. I do like a kind, good main character, but I don't like a main character who allows herself to be stepped on in the name of being a good person. I find that to be just annoying because I don't like watching a character I like be treated terribly and then just accept it. It bothers me. So this volume did bug me a bit with that regard. We also see a character from the first 2 volumes who proved themselves to be a very bad character, okay? They proved themselves to Anne to be a terrible person. They come back in this volume, and she doesn't think they're going to do anything evil again. She's like, oh, well, I'm the bigger person, so I won't do anything. And if I don't do anything, he won't do anything, and he does do something. And it's like, it was really frustrating for me to read through, because like I could see it coming a mile away every time he appeared on the page. In the first 2 volumes, I was like, yeah, that guy is scummy. He's going to do something. And then he does stuff. So I was pretty annoyed with this one. Anne is she's put into a difficult position by the end of this volume. And she had so many options. She had a million options to get out of the situation. And she doesn't choose any of her options. She just goes along with what she's told. So I will be reading volume 4 because, again, overall, I like the series. And I will be reading the light novels because I think I'll like those more. But just with the flow of the manga is not all that good. I think it needs a lot more volumes. Moving on. I read volume 4 of Spring Storm and Monster, or Haru no Arashi to Monster. A little preface. So the day Firefly Wedding, I was going to say Fire Emblem. The day Firefly Wedding's final chapter came out, it was spoiled for me on Facebook, of all places. And I was in the worst mood possible. Again, I'm going to talk more about spoilers tomorrow, but I was in the worst mood possible. And I was just kind of moping around being like, oh my God. Like I had so many, like on Twitter, I muted like every word. And I was also just kind of staying off Twitter. I was being careful on Instagram, and then I logged into Facebook just to check my marketplace, and the first thing that came up was the spoiler, and I'm mad about it. So I was mad all day, and so I picked up the next volume of Spring Storm and Monster. And like what happens in the first like 3 pages fully distracted me. Like all of my negativity gone, because Kaya does something ridiculously crazy in one of the first few pages. And it just sucked me right in. I forgot all of my like anger towards that spoiler. Gone. So this was a very, very entertaining volume. I think this is the craziest volume yet. I really, really enjoyed it. We still see Kaya, the boy on the cover, being ridiculously obsessive over his kind of new stepsister, but they're not even really technically step siblings. They just live together. It's a thing. He's incredibly possessive over the girl, Nan, and he doesn't want Nan being near anybody who isn't him. And we just follow the craziness, and it gets interestingly crazy. It's really fun. One new character that I have grown a deep appreciation for is, I think her name is Ishii. I'm bad with names. It doesn't matter though. But she is a side character. And this girl, this isn't a spoiler at all, but this girl, I've grown to love her because she is so true to herself. She says she doesn't need female friends. She is only interested in boys. That's all she cares about. And she's true to that. She just doesn't make any female friends and is kind to boys. And good for her, you know? You know what you want and you go after what you want. I like that for her. But she's just so funny. And she kind of befriends Lan, but kind of also isn't Lan's friend. They have an interesting relationship that I think is fun to watch. But specifically in this volume, she lets out her like kind of darker side, even in front of one of the boys. And she said something, if I were to translate it into English, I haven't read the English version, so I don't know like officially what it's translated as, but she was like very, very kind, offering a boy her handkerchief. He said no. Later, Dan offered the same boy a handkerchief and he took it. And so our girl sees this and she goes up to him and she tries calling him out and he's like, whoa, like what's happening? And then she kind of flips and she says like something like, from a young age, a demon entered my heart. I can't be held responsible for what that demon does when it takes over my body. I have no recollection of it. And then she just goes back to being sweet. And I thought it was so out of pocket. It was really, really funny. So I really like her because she has like two personalities. And I just think she's just very funny. So this was a very like toxic but funny volume. And I really liked it. Moving on to my digital reads. I did do 3 digital reads. All of them are expired. I was planning on doing so many more digital reads. I just got distracted with my light novel. I'm prioritizing my light novel. It's okay. First one I read is Witchriv. This one is currently available for free on Shueisha's app. I think it's Shueisha. They have a website. You can find it. Google Witchriv. It'll be like the first thing that pops up. Witchriv, if you like Witch Hat Atelier or Eden of Witches, I think you'll really, really like it. It follows our young protagonist who is a witch and her mom. Witches in this manga verse have to live in absolute secrecy because humans fear them. It's like a hate fear, like it's a deep primal fear. According to the humans and this specific government agency who's in charge of hunting down witches, witches are the purest form of evil. Like they kidnap babies and suck their souls out of them, like that evil. So when the government has people that afraid of witches, neighbors spy on each other. Like you don't really have any privacy. So living in a world like that, our young protagonist's mom raises her to never ever use magic under any circumstances. Because the neighbors are that nosy, they will stare into your window. It's like if you typically go to the grocery store 2 times a week and you go an extra time this week, they might call up the government on you and they'll accuse you of being a witch. Because why did you need to go to the grocery store an extra time this week? Were you buying witchy products, you witch? And then who knows what happens to you? So people are that terrified of witches. It's crazy. So you gotta be careful. But it's really not easy, especially for a young girl, to hide her witchy powers when if you can use magic, you're gonna use magic. Like don't say you wouldn't, you absolutely would. So it follows her story. It does get pretty dark. It is a little bit sad, but I've only read the first chapter and I loved it. And I wanted to read on, but I only had the first chapter available for free. And I'm sad about that. My next read, where'd it go? I'm upset because I downloaded a few that I was really excited about and they're expired. This one was okay. This one is called otouto no kyorikan ga baguttemasu. Yeah, the reason I say this one's just mildly okay is because we follow our high school protagonist who is kind of not even confronted, but like she's face to face with this kind of scary looking guy in her class. He's always kind of squinting and glaring and he's tall and he looks kind of rough. He's kind of a scary looking person. So when he approaches her, like glaring at her, she just apologizes. Cause like what else are you gonna do when a scary looking guy just comes and stares daggers into your soul? And he laughs and he goes, why are you apologizing? Like, I can't see that well. I'm not wearing glasses. So we quickly learn like, oh, he's actually kind of cute. Like he can't see. So that's why he's squinting. He's actually a really sweet guy. He has a lot of friends. He's just misunderstood. And the two like slowly but surely develop a friendly relationship. And then their parents get married. And it's awkward because our protagonist has already developed feelings for him. We don't really know how he feels for her. And their parents get married. And their parents don't even, like, they tell them that they're getting married, like, when they're getting married. There's no, like, here's my new boyfriend. why don't we meet his family together and see if you vibe with their kids? No, it's here's your new mom. They're moving in today. So she had to deal with all of that, which is a lot. And the male lead, at first, he's depicted as really liking her as a new sister. He tells her that he's so glad she's his new big sister because she's older than him, even though she's tiny, because she makes his mom happy. And when his mom's happy, he's happy. Again, he's a really sweet character. And she's like, crap, like, I was kind of happy we're living together because I have feelings for you, and now I get to see you all day long. But now you're telling me you're happy I'm your sister. That's kind of weird. So we get to deal with that. The reason I'm like, it's an story is because I hate step-sibling stuff so much. I don't like sibling stuff at all. I don't like step-sibling stuff at all. I can do cohabitation stuff. Like, there's some, like, fun stories with cohabitation. But step-siblings, it's more okay for me because they liked each other and then all of a sudden their parents got married. I think that's more okay because they had no control over that. But because he keeps referring to her as his sister, it's like, okay, like it's getting kind of icky. So we'll see. I did read the entirety of the first volume. It's cute. I like both of their characters. But we'll see where it goes. The last one that I read is the one I didn't love, called Fushito Batsu. And I will talk about this one more tomorrow, but quick summary. I only read the first chapter, even though I had the first volume. This is about the zombie apocalypse in Shibuya, I think it is. And it talks all about zombies, basically. We follow a male protagonist who has kind of a sketchy background. We know he's really dealing with a lot emotionally. He's carrying some heavy baggage. We don't know exactly what he did or like why he did it. We don't really know anything about his past all that much, besides the fact that he does not want to be alive anymore. He's only alive right now because he made a promise to, I think, his mom to live on and atone for his sins through living. So I need more context. So he's alive, trying to feel something, trying to be happy, meets up with a girl he met online. They go to a love hotel. She robs him and then dips. After that happens, he sees a report on the news that zombie apocalypse is happening. Everybody stay inside. The woman who stole stuff from him learns about his past through Googling him and is like, I should probably return his money if he did something wild. So she tries to go back to him, but the zombie apocalypse is happening. She's not getting back to that hotel. She does actually get back to the hotel, but she is attacked by zombies just outside of his door. He doesn't let her in, and he doesn't feel all that bad about it because, again, she robbed him. She took his money and ran. And then we learn that he liked the sound of her getting attacked by zombies, which is something. And that's basically all we know about it. So we have an interesting character. I do like the fact that he isn't like the typical zombie apocalyptic main character. I have been consuming some zombie apocalypse stuff. Like I watched Zom 100, my zombie bucket list, whatever that is. I didn't like that one all that much. I thought it was a little bit too comedic. I was rewatching The Walking Dead, and that one was all serious and tough. So this one I do like the fact that the main character is like not a good guy. He has some moral shortcomings, like what happened in the past, we don't know. It kind of fell flat for me. I didn't like some stuff. I'll talk about that more tomorrow. But yeah, that's everything I read. I will probably still be focusing on finishing my light novel this week. It'll take me a little while to read all of it, but that's okay. And I don't know, I have a couple English ones that I'm hoping to read. I'm really hoping to reread You and I Are Polar Opposites. I loved this. The anime is airing right now. I'm not watching the anime yet. But I want to reread this, and then I have volume 2 that I have to read. And then we'll see where I go from there. Yeah.